Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
Hi, I'm Asa.
You've earned your own intro now.
Wow, so
Yeah.
exciting. Oh, an honor. Can't wait for that to be cut.
It will be cut. I don't cut these. I barely
No.
edit them.
No
Um,
editing.
we are in our the slap bang middle of Asa's three picks series. Asa, without a further ado, why don't you tell us what movie we're doing today?
So we're doing Pride and Prejudice. Um, forgotten the director's name. Is it
Joe Wright.
2005? Yeah, Joe Wright. Is it 2005?
It is.
It is, yeah. There you go. I knew when it was made. So,
Why?
wow. I mean, I just think it's such like a lovely film. I think it's a great adaptation of the book. Have you read the book?
No, so
No.
it
I'll be
came
book
to about
expert.
it came to about 2 weeks before, and then oh,
It's
stop!
fine.
I can hear this clanging of it. Could you hear that messenger ringing?
No,
Oh, so I looked insane.
no.
That's good.
You just started doing this. Fine.
Um, the
No,
uh,
I haven't read the book. Oh,
can't hear this ringing. But no, it got to about 2 weeks ago, and I thought, should I read the book? And I thought, no,
no.
because
No, I think it's fine not
years,
to.
yeah, no, well, yeah, obviously, but like, I mean, years and years of, people have, looked at this film and weighed it up against the 95 Colin Firth, which I also haven't seen.
Oh, you should watch that.
I
You'd
know
like that.
I probably would. But this came to pass. I was thinking about versions of Pride and Prejudice that I've actually seen, and
Mhm.
I review as many new releases as I can. So I think the first, well, no, the first version of Pride and Prejudice I saw was definitely Bridget Jones, which isn't really a version of Pride and Prejudice, but does
It has
keep.
got Colin Firth in it though.
It's called Colin Firth. He's called Darcy, and they do kind of use the Wickham, um,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
Daniel
yeah.
Cleaver being a dickhead. Well, actually, he's
Absolutely.
not. So they do have that in there. Um,
What? What do you mean he's not a dickhead?
Darcy being a dickhead. Oh, Darcy not being a dickhead. Oh, you think he's
Who are
still a
you
dickhead?
talking about? You said no. Are we talking about
Daniel
Hugh
Cleaver.
Grant or right? Yeah,
Yeah.
he is a dickhead.
No, I know, but I'm talking about
You're like,
how.
but actually not.
No, I'm talking about how in the film it's like
Oh,
made
you
out
think
that
that
Darcy's a
Darcy is?
dickhead.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Um, I mean, Daniel
That incredible
Cleaver's.
plot twist.
It is a pretty good plot twist. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, although Daniel's Mr. Cleaver's a great man. Um,
No, it's very funny.
Daniel, what we just did is still illegal in many countries. Um, and then I also watched Fire Island. Have you watched Fire Island?
I haven't seen Fire Island, no.
Fire Island was pretty good. It's Pride and Prejudice on Fire Island with a load of gay guys. And that was a lot
I'd
more
probably
strict.
enjoy it, to be fair.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Do you like Bowen Yang?
I don't know who that is. What that
SNL,
is.
Saturday Night Live.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I know what SNL is.
You don't have to be sorry. You don't have to be sorry.
Okay, I'm not
Um,
sorry. Well, I wasn't really that sorry.
so
Just
yes,
being
so
polite.
so for all intensive purposes, although through osmosis, um, or through osmosis, I know. Did you hear that ringing?
No.
Oh, this will stop very swiftly. Um, for all intensive purposes, this was my first pure Pride and
Pride and
Prejudice
Prejudice. Okay, I
experience.
think it's a good first experience
I know it was
because the
delightful.
TV show's long. Like, this is a good and it's accurate. Like, they don't change
Mhm.
anything really
Yeah.
to
Well,
like the best of my memory.
it is. How is it? 3 parts or 4 parts of the series?
I think, I think it's three. Might be
Yeah.
four,
Well, either way, it'll be
but
slightly more stretched out than anything. And is
yeah.
there because this feels very, very quickly in a good way, very,
Hmm.
very quickly paced and very thorough. So is that the whole book being truncated into 2 hours, or is there a subplot that isn't is was chosen to be alleviated?
No, there's nothing like it really does just focus on them. There's not like they don't really cut much out. I mean, they cut out probably just like talking and descriptions of walking in the rain, but you just see her walking in the rain, you
Yes,
know?
yes, you do.
Um, so
Um,
I think when you read the book, it's not like a long read.
no,
It feels
the
like
or the audiobook is read
the
by
audiobook
my
is available.
the
Use
audiobook is
my
available.
code, Tom Carruthers.
I have multiple pyramid schemes going on currently. I have the
Mm,
wonderful app Plum, which is great for down saving money.
right.
But if you want a link, I can get you a link.
Yeah.
Um, might do it before the screening. The audiobook is read by who I will politely refer to as my queen, um, Rosamund Pike. I adore
Oh,
Rosamund.
I love Rosamund Pike. Isn't
Huge
she
fan.
stunning in this?
Oh,
I'm sure we'll
she's
get onto it.
wonderful.
She's
She's
gorgeous.
delightful.
She is the most beautiful girl in the whole
She is,
land,
and
village. This is quite pretty too.
and it's quite a demure Rosamund that we haven't. That I don't know if
Yeah.
is some because well after Gone Girl, obviously everybody's just cast her in those sort of roles and trying to
Hmm.
emulate Amy Dunn. But she should have won that Oscar. That's beside the point. Pride and Prejudice. No, I had a very good time. It was very delightful this morning,
Good.
and it was very very good. So before we delve into this specifically, what
Hmm.
is your timeline? Did you watch this movie? This becomes a movie you love. Then you read the book. Then you watch the '95 series, or is it the other way around?
No.
How did it work?
So I read the book when I was quite like I was like one of the first adult. That makes it sound like weird. It's like a grown-up book.
Yes,
Yeah, what they actually cut out is all the sex scenes. No.
hardcore
Um,
sex.
hardcore sex didn't make it into the film. Um, no, so I read the book very young. I've read it many times. And then I watched the show because my mum likes the show. I
Mhm.
think a lot of middle-aged women like the show. Not in a bad way, an exploration of sexuality that perhaps women are not experienced to. And then I watched this film, and now I didn't love the like I liked it when I first watched it, but I wasn't, you know, I don't think I appreciate it as much as I do now.
Yeah, no, I feel from my preliminary research across the week, there are those who, well, there was a big, what I found bizarre sort of outcry from fans that Keira Knightley's too pretty for the role of
To
Lizzie
be
Bennet,
Elizabeth.
which I
Yeah.
didn't realize because I've always thought that Jennifer Ailes is a beautiful woman, so I didn't realize that Lizzie was supposed to be ugly. Um,
This stunning one.
yeah, and that I kind of remember that I'd known of this before that Matthew McFadden was not a known quantity at the time, and so
Mhm.
there was an element of who's this guy, who's this guy,
Who's this guy? This isn't Colin Firth.
and big shoes to fill. I think he
Yeah.
does marvelously. I mean, I'm a
I think it's
huge
brilliant.
yeah, I'm a huge McFadden fan. Adore Succession.
Fuck! It's my reference.
Have you actually seen Succession? Or are you being jovial?
No, I haven't seen Succession.
That's
I was
okay. That's
doing the
fine.
Deadpool bit.
Oh yeah. I thought he was
Which I'm
actively.
not saying is like was a hilarious joke. I just, assumes what he says in it.
Forgot about
The
that.
internet's gone wild.
I haven't watched a movie twice in it. That's a lie. I watched Trap twice. Loved Trap. Anyway, here we are. Let's talk about Joe Wright. Is this where your Joe Wright experience ends? Because he then launches immediately from the critical enjoyment and critical reverence and box office success of this
Mm,
straight
mm.
into another very hard to adapt book, Atonement, also with Cara. And
I haven't seen Atonement.
Atonement's
I
pretty
know
great.
I think I'd like it.
Yeah.
Like I know I would. I'm like gearing up. You're like, I need to watch a good film when I'm in
Mm,
the mood to watch a good film.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, you watch
Atonement,
films all day, but
I do. I don't have much else
It's
left.
okay.
Atonement's great, and then he heads into another Keira Knightley huge box office.
Mm.
Well, no, sorry, this is, pardon me, huge budget literary adaptation, and this is
Yeah.
where the box office ends and the critical reverence also ends, which is his huge Anna Karenina, which I
Yeah.
haven't seen.
No, I
And
don't think I
then
have.
it further kind of well, then he makes Hannah, which is a really great little action movie with young Saoirse, and it's
Hmm.
great. And then he's made Darkest Hour, which I thought was actively one of the most boring movies I've ever seen in my life.
That was boring. Oh, that was Gary Oldman.
And
Yeah.
Pan. Do you remember Pan? Hugh
No.
Jackman as Blackbeard.
Yeah. Oh, Pan. Oh, I didn't mind
Yeah.
that. But I'm like a big Peter Pan fan. I like Peter Pan films. It's not the best one.
No, but I
Hook is
wouldn't
much
say
better.
Hook is better than Pan. Um,
In the scale of Peter
in the scale of pants. I wouldn't say, however, and again, people's careers can be varied, but I wouldn't say watching
Pan.
Pride and Prejudice that the immediate leap would be to Pan, and it wasn't the immediate leap, but
No, because you just listed like six other films
six
in
other movies,
between. Right.
but
The giant leap.
it's pretty big.
No, I know what I do. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. The script was written by Deborah Magak or Mojak or something. I think a sterling adaptation. A very
Yeah,
solid
no, I think
adaptation.
it's very well done. Yeah.
Yeah. With uncredited dialogue from Emma Thompson. Did you know?
Really?
Yes. So Sense
I
and
didn't know that.
Sensibility actress and
Makes
screenwriter Emma
sense.
Thompson aided in script development, though she opted to be uncredited. She advised the nervous director about adapting Austen for the screen and made dialogue recommendations, such as with parts of the
Doesn't surprise
Collins and
me.
Charlotte storyline. Sense and Sensibility, another movie I haven't seen.
I haven't seen it. I have read it.
Mm.
Actually, no, I have seen it. She's in it, isn't she?
Yeah, Emma and
Yeah,
Kate.
I have seen it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, yeah, it's fine. I don't like Sense and Sensibility. It's not my favorite Jane Austen.
Oh, why not? What turns
It's
you
a bit
off?
boring.
Is it
I don't. I
boring?
think it's just a not good version of Pride and Prejudice, which I'm sure is blasphemy amongst die-hard Jane
Did
Austen
I
fans.
guess? Did you watch Persuasion with Dakota Johnson?
No, I watched Emma with what's her name?
Anya Taylor-Joy and Johnny Flynn. Yeah,
Loved
Johnny
that.
Flynn.
Really
Yeah, I
enjoyed
liked
that.
Emma. It's cool.
I think Emma might be my favorite Austen, but this is my favorite film,
Oh,
Jane Austen film.
I mean, I love Gwyneth. So how do you feel about Gwyneth's Emma?
Well, I haven't seen it. I have seen it,
Oh,
but when
it's
I was like
okay.
a child and watched
This is okay. It's
Jane
fine. I
Austen
just
films.
love Gwyneth Paltrow,
I'll
and
watch it again
I wish you well. Um,
and I'll let you know. Is it not good?
no, I was quoting her ski trial. I wish you
God's
well.
sake.
Um, let's dive into Pride and Prejudice.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, I did
Sorry,
just
I
have a
just got it.
marvelous, I did just have a marvelous time with it. I thought it was very, very good, solid.
Yeah.
Um, do I say this now or do I sort of string this throughout? I thought she was very, very good, but
Kira.
I don't know about Kira. I know this is a
I d
terrible foot to start on, but I don't know.
No, I think so. My cousin, this is a tangent that's going to lead into, has this theory about Eddie Redmayne. That Eddie Redmayne and everything he's in is Eddie Redmayne. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Eddie Redmayne, if Eddie Redmayne was in the French Revolution, Eddie
with
Redmayne, if Eddie
cerebral
Redmayne
palsy.
was, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I was trying to think of different roles he'd played that aren't mildly offensive.
Yeah,
And I think Keira Knightley kind of falls into the same, like, I think she's Keira. Maybe it's just because she's famous, like, and I think she's a good actress. And I think Eddie Redmayne's a good actor. I'm not knocking these, but when you can kind of just see, well,
yeah.
I
I
think you
no.
can kind of, people have mannerisms that they don't drop in, like, that pop up in everything they do.
The
And I
difference
think it kind of
is the
pops up for
difference
her.
is I think the big thing in regards to Kira and that sort of,
Mm.
what you're describing is that people say the same thing about like Jack Nicholson, but Jack Nicholson is always playing sort of very different roles and characters. And even though it's
Yeah,
you can still tell it's Jack, he's doing very different things. Eddie is
yeah,
the outsider that proves the rule because every single performance he does that isn't Eddie Redmayne, it feels awful. And you can tell that it is
yeah,
Eddie Redmayne. On the other hand, Kira has more or less in her successful projects only been asked to play demure
yeah. It's
British
not her
women.
fault. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no. But
And she's good at it.
yeah,
But like, it's she doesn't do anything in this film where I go, that is the most phenomenal bit of acting. Like,
now Academy Award nominated.
mm. Yeah. I mean, she's fine. I don't think there's enough in it to.
No, I
She's
mean
yeah.
the unfortunate thing is, and I know this sounds rude,
Sounds really rude to hear that.
I think although I think the rest of the Bennett sisters are incredibly well cast,
Yeah.
I think you could seriously make the argument that this movie is 10 times better if you swap either Carey Mulligan in a few years or Rosamund in the role of Lizzie.
Carrie Mulligan would be a brilliant Elizabeth Bennet. She would be
Carey
very
Mulligan
like
deserves everything in the
Carrie
world.
Mulligan would be a brilliant anything, actually. She's fantastic. But yeah, no, I do know what you I think Rosamund Pike is too I mean Keira Knightley's beautiful, obviously. I think Rosamund Pike is I think she's a good Jane. I think she does something, it's
Yes.
interesting to see her in that role.
She has a maturity to it that you need,
She
obviously,
does.
for the role of
Which
Pride.
Elizabeth, yeah, maybe if she was younger.
Yeah. Um, no, in 2005, everybody is good. Everybody is perfect.
In the
Best
year
t-
2005.
in the year
Go on.
2005. Best 10-minute stretch. I have a ball, which is the first ball, another
Yes,
ball, which is the second ball, and
the
then
balls
Judi
are
Dench.
excellent. Isn't she hilarious?
What a woman.
I would have been a great profession.
I love Judi Dench so very, very well. My favorite Judi Dench is Notes on a Scandal, where she is.
I
And
love Notes on a Scandal.
oh,
So good.
Asa, Asa.
Rhiannon told me you guys did that. I was like, yeah, it's a really good film.
Well, I forced her to because no, I never
Well,
know. I didn't know anybody
I've
loved.
seen it.
Oh, Asa,
Creepy little weirdo films. Right up my
Ships
street.
in the Night. Just fuck me, Barbara. Um, we've got what a great
I
film.
feel like I just I've only seen it once, but what, like just the clip of her with her hand, like when you see in a film
Yeah,
someone like far away, and like this is like a horror film.
yeah.
What the
They're going to give me 2 years. They'll fly by. I like. Um, au
She's
revoir to
excellent.
the little leprechaun. Anyway, so the moral of the story is that I prefer Judi Dench. I think when she's a little bit because I think she's seen obviously as rightfully so the nation's sweetheart and everything. And I think that
Yeah,
well, I've got a quote from Joe Wright. Joe Wright managed to cast Dame Judi Dench reportedly by writing a letter saying, "I love it when you play a bitch."
yeah. No, she's so good at it. She's got that edge. Like she's so good.
I mean, of course, Lady Catherine is no Barbara Covert, one of the great characters of all time. Uh, I, oh no, should we just cancel this and do Notes on the Scandal? Here we are.
Yeah.
Any nominations for 10 minute stretch? You lead the path because these are the first times I've
I
watched the movie, so I always struggle with
yeah.
notes on a first watch. And yes, that's bad
Uh-huh.
hosting. I should have watched it twice.
It's fine. I mean I've watched it in like a couple of months ago, so I'm going off
Mm.
memory. But I've seen it many times. I did
I
have
could
time
do
to watch
Notes
it
on a
this
Scandal from memory. Don't worry.
I think like the whole bit of when he comes in to propose the first
Mm,
time
yeah.
to like in the rain, when she's like, "How could I forgive you after what you did to Mr. Wickham?" Mr.
There is a
Wickham.
there is a pompousness to it all, and such a there is. Well, I think you've kind of answered my questions by the other movies that we've mentioned that you've said no, I haven't seen that. But like, is this world of pomp and circumstance, something that
Mm.
you enjoy in your media, or is it very specifically just a love of these couple of Austen books?
No, I do like. I mean, I like a bit of pretentious,
Mm,
like media. I like a pretentious book, a pretentious
mm,
film. It's not like like if I was describing my goat, I wouldn't be like, wow, you know, I love pretentious stuff. But I
mm.
think this what like I like a world, like this is the language of this world. This is the
Well, I guess the big
the
thing is,
makeup of it.
do you like Downton?
I love Downton.
See,
I've
I've
seen
never,
it multiple
yeah.
times. I don't think you'd like Downton.
Well,
Downton is pretentious, but like almost not.
I love Gosford Park, which was Julian Fellowes' big thing he wrote before
Okay.
Downton Abbey, which I guess is my arsehole film. I like Gosford Park, but
Well,
I was it was my first major girlfriend's favorite show, and so we watched Mad Men, and she enjoyed that. And just when we were due to watch Downton, she left, so I got
oh.
out of that one. Um,
No, I love it. Like, I love a period drama. I think this is a more sophisticated one. You get some period dramas that are like, you know,
well, there seems
you
to
can
be
tell it was made now.
there seems to be a very, very, very clear choice in the filmmaking and writing and performance of
Mhm.
led by Joe Wright, I would say, to make
Yeah.
this less more realistic quote of uh,
Mhm. Yeah.
dirtier, looser, a little bit more improvisation. I mean, the wonderful, Carey Mulligan and Jenny Malone, you'd think that they were improvised moments. And obviously there are moments
Mm.
but again, I haven't seen any other adaptations of Pride and Prejudice, but there feels to be a bit more of a looseness and a lot more of the
Yeah.
comedy. Am
No.
I right?
Yeah,
Or
I'd
is,
agree. Um, there is like the other one there is comedy in the BBC one because there are
Mhm.
comedic characters. They're always going to be funny. But I think it embraces more like with Lydia and the other sisters. There is more of like it's a bit like Little Women, I think. There's a looseness to that, it feels like
Yeah,
more real, like these are real people having conversations rather than like caricatures or,
I didn't
just a
look up.
bit stiff.
Alison Steadman plays Mrs. Bennet. He didn't tell me that.
In the BBC one,
Yeah.
she's fantastic. She's so funny.
Emilia Fox plays Georgina Darcy. Oh, I should watch this. And it's 6 episodes
It's
long.
brilliant.
It's
I
six
thought it was
hours
more.
long. Oh my God. I don't know if
It's really good though.
I know.
Watch it at Christmas.
Yeah. Um, where was we? Where's my notes? Thomas Widley's specific favourite parts of the film. Just the early morning dew of morning.
Oh, isn't it lovely? With like the little music. It's just
Da,
like
da, da. Just I put here just an early sighting of Rosamund Pike. Um,
just a sighting of Rosamund through her bedroom window.
dancing, even if one's partner is barely tolerable.
Barely tolerable.
Yes, yes. Jack, Jack, Jack. I can do Jack, but I can't do anything else. Are you an Elizabeth Swann person? Is this do you is this
I
why you're
love
Keira
Pirates of the
Knightley? Okay,
Caribbean.
right, yes. Um, yes.
I like a nostalgia, I just think they're fun.
Yeah, no, they're
But
pretty good.
no, I think what would I have first seen her in? Would it have been this? I like Love Actually.
Oh well,
I
I
don't think
hate
she's
Love
very
Actually.
good in Love Actually. No, I can imagine you do, but I like it. So
Um,
would I have seen her in that? I feel like I've seen her end it like Beckham, like
oh
End It
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
Beckham.
No, no,
Where
she's a
Keira
very
Knightley plays a
story.
lesbian who's not a lesbian.
What is?
That was made now, she would have just been gay.
Isn't she gay in
Anyway,
the musical? I think they did a musical and just made her gay. I could be
oh,
entirely wrong.
possibly. Yeah. I think I went to see that and don't remember anything from it. So,
That's always a good sign.
um,
Keira Knightley's
always
most
good.
most recent things were the Boston Strangler. That wasn't very good. The Aftermath again, just upper class British woman. Um, oh, Misbehavior. Did I watch that? I think I did watch this, didn't I?
You probably have.
this is the thing, isn't it? I watch everything. And so it's gotten to a point now where I forget, did I watch this? I think I did. I did. Yeah, it was all about the models and everything.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, she was alright in that.
again, more British stuff, Official Secrets.
What else is
And
she interested
you
in?
know,
Imitation Game. Yeah,
yeah.
she does a lot,
Right.
doesn't she?
She has
Good for
done a
her.
lot. 1985,
What was
Keira
the
Knightley.
question?
Just looking at what she's done recently.
Just
Yeah. Other Tom Swidler specific favorite parts of the film. I've put here again, not to be a creep, Rosamund under the sheets when they're laid together and the little
yes,
candle. It's
very
very nice.
pretty.
It's
I
very
think they
nice.
both look very pretty under the sheets.
Well, Rosamund sneezing, just that lovely little moment of just sneezing.
She's
Darcy
so
stand.
sweet.
Oh, what a wonderful- Darcy standing up from his seat, which is very
Oh,
good.
when she walks in, yeah, yeah, yeah. Fun. That's funny.
We haven't really talked about Matthew McFadden yet. I think he's sensational. I think he's very, very
I
good.
love him. In
Uh,
yeah. I mean,
and
I haven't seen him in a lot. I love him in this
yeah,
though.
there's there's a sort of plague that goes across all of these characters. I recently watched a version of Much Ado About Nothing, and I'm sorry, it's not that I hate Shakespeare, which I do, but it's just like,
Really? I love
oh,
Shake. This is my pretentiousness.
I hate Shakespeare, and I'm not even saying it to be pretentious. I don't enjoy it,
No,
and
I don't think you're being pretentious in saying it.
yeah,
I'm saying that if I'm like, I love Shakespeare, it sounds pretentious.
no, but
I do.
it sounds pretentious because I'm an actor and I should like Shakespeare, so it sounds like I'm trying to do it controversially. It's like, no, I just find it
Sure,
very, very
sure. Yeah,
boring.
yeah, yeah.
And with Much Ado About Nothing,
Understandable.
I'm like, these people
Love
hate each other.
much do about
This,
nothing.
I know, of course you do. And
They
it's like,
don't, they're just flirty bantering.
it's not
Like
flirty
it's
back. What?
so
And then
it's
he hits her.
witty.
No, it's right.
Well, I don't know which version you saw.
My sheath doth cloth my sword, don't you think? And everybody goes, ha 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 ha. Nobody has a clue what they're saying. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Right. Was he in it? Or
No, I'm just saying the
why
whole
did
thing
it come up?
because of people hating each other. And when it becomes and when it's like more period
Enemies to
appropriate,
lovers. Yeah.
enemies to lovers, and you often find with sort of classical literature that the whole enemies to lovers thing, the enemy man is doing a lot of horrible shit.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Whereas you're saying Mr. Darcy doesn't.
I'm saying,
I
yeah,
mean, he does some arsehole little
it
things,
does
but I think he's
some
just
arsehole
shy.
things. Yeah, I mean, it's like we're supposed to fall in love with Jane Eyre and Mr.
Hmm.
Not
The other one
Thatcher. What's he called? Not Mr. Thatcher.
in Jane Eyre.
In Jane Eyre, Mr. Harchester or Harkester or Mr. Rochester. Mr.
Yeah,
Rochester.
Mr. Rochester.
And it's like, oh, he just locked his crazy wife in the attic. Oh, what a guy.
It's just
And
what he does.
yeah, ooh, I love him. And what are other examples? Like, I mean, well, obviously
Like Heathcliff.
Heathcliff's his
Yeah.
own.
I love
Heathcliff's got to love it.
Heathcliff. Man's been through it.
You
Like,
know that's Emerald Fennell's no next project.
I saw that. She loves the grave fucking.
I was just going to
Um,
say that exact same joke, Asa.
no, so I love Wuthering Heights. It's one of my favorite books.
I love
I
Wuthering
don't
Heights.
think she's going to do a very good job of it.
I have blind faith.
I mean, I
Um,
enjoyed Saltburn, like on a
I
surface level.
I
Did enjoy it.
enjoyed Saltburn, yes, starring the delightful Carey Mulligan
Rosamund
and
Pike. She was
Rosamund. Yes,
brilliant in that. She was the best part. I was a lesbian once.
yes, I was lesbian. Yeah, and then they
Also
started
very
talking about
wet.
Jarvis. Yeah, I very much loved it. Rosamund was a Thomas Carruthers 2024 Awards nominee for Best Supporting Actress. She did
Oh,
lose to
is she?
Julianne Moore in May December, which was, of course,
It was your favorite film, wasn't it? Yeah, of last year.
If
I
you
haven't
like
seen
Notes on
it.
a Scandal, Asa,
No, I know I'll like it. It's up there, like on my atonement good films that I need to watch when I'm in the mood to watch a good film list.
you're coming over
I do
to.
want to watch it.
Aren't you coming over next
I
week?
I am, yeah. Is that the film night? Have Jazz and Leanne seen it?
I think we
I
do
don't even
Notes
know
on
want to
a.
watch it again if they have.
I think we do
Notes
notes on
on,
a scandal.
guys.
Notes on a
You're really
scandal.
going to
Maybe
enjoy our fun little movie night. We're going to watch these
notes on a scandal's
films.
hilarious. Notes on a scandal
No,
is
I
genuinely
like it,
hilarious.
and they'll like it.
They will like it. Also, I find, yeah, Notes on a Scandal has become for me a female barometer as well. In the females in my life, sorry, not just in all women, but my prospective female partners. And I watched it with one, and I was laughing, and they didn't laugh at all. I thought that's a bad sign.
Okay.
They didn't laugh
Yeah, no.
Thomas
Right,
Ridley's. Oh, go on. I have more.
No.
I have more. Miss Bennett
Go
and
on.
Miss Bennett and Miss Bennett and
Miss
Miss
Bennett
Bennett.
and Miss Bennett.
I love Tom Hollander. What exemplary vegetables.
So funny.
Do you like White Lotus?
I haven't seen it.
He's very good in
I
certain
know
things.
I'd like it. Yeah. And I like Tom Hollander. I think he's a good actor.
He is the gaze from the meme. These gays are trying to kill me.
Oh,
It's very good.
okay.
It's very good show.
Yeah.
Donald holding Tallulah Riley crying, I've been praying to see for weeks.
Yes. Yeah. Let
Darcy
the other
picking
young
up his
ladies have a turn.
Darcy picking up his sister, and that sort of almost Brian De
Sweet.
Palma thriller shot of Brenda Blethyn cheering up, Lydia married and at 15. And then
She
the
must
reveal
know the effect this had on my poor nerves.
and the reveal of the girls all clean and ready as Mr. Bingley arrives again, and they're cleaning and going, oh,
Yes.
I've got to do the thing. And then they're all sat there demurely, which I could be entirely wrong about other adaptations.
Go on.
Is something that's new.
Which bit?
No, I just mean I just mean in general. Like I could be entirely wrong, but from what like TV Austen stuff I watched as a kid, it feels like that scene would open with Mr. Bingley's here, and they're all sat there, and they're all sat there.
Yeah.
We wouldn't get that hurriedness, that messiness,
playful.
That sort of modernism. A lot of the
yes.
I watched some of the behind the scenes, and a lot of it was focused on how this is a bit like how they did promoted Little Women 2019, about how this is actually a really forward thinking. This isn't some stuffy classical adaptation, and also we've not modernized it. This was a modern tale to begin with. Yeah.
No, I'd agree.
And no, you get a lot of that with the Any weirdly specific favorite part, Stacey?
I mean, like is viral, but like the hand, like when the hand flex, it's so cute. But like that is, I think it's because it embodies like his character of like, I want to do this thing, but I'm not meant to do this thing, and I've done it now. Oh, why did I do that? Like, I said as part of my 10-minute stretch when he's like, Mr. Wickham.
Yes.
Most
ardent.
I mean, I think Mrs. Collins is just hilarious. Like not Mrs. Collins, Mrs.
Mr.
Bennett.
Collins.
Mr. Collins hilarious, and Mrs. Bennett is hilarious.
Oh yes, the wonderful.
Like when she's lying in bed, she's like, she just knows the effect this must have on my poor nerves.
The wonderful Vera, of course.
As you said, the switch to
Well, I mean, is this where we bring up the fact that this podcast has been scheduled for 2 months and has inadvertently ended up as a memoriam for the wonderful Donald Sutherland?
No, it's so sad. It is really sad, isn't it?
And in a sense,
you're going to be like, sad.
Dad, yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me something awful that he'd done. Like,
no. Donald's one of the good ones.
Good guy. Yeah. No, he's really good. Didn't he like protest and all that shit? Fucking he's a good guy. Sweet. Good guy. And I think he's great in this. At the end, I'm quite content.
Yes. It is. It's. I mean, obviously, we'll talk later about the US alternate ending. But
I gathered that would be a big question.
it's quite peculiar an ending for this film that we get, but is perfect. And
Hmm.
we've like as like I'm saying this as if I have seen hundreds of Pride and Prejudices, and I haven't, but we have seen hundreds of Pride and Prejudices that end on a nice note, and we know that they'll be together
Or like a
forever.
wedding. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whereas this
I
ends,
don't think you need that.
no, it's like you've got one of the great actors of his generation. Just pull him off the top bench and just give him a nice closing 5 minute scene. Because although
Yeah.
he's nice and delightful throughout the film, I wouldn't say he's particularly been given much to do. Um,
No, no. And he's like grumpy throughout the
yeah,
film.
I think there is a word. There was a lot of conversation around Donald Sutherland not having not having an Oscar, as always happens when people die. And there was a conversation
Mm.
I was listening to, and then those are in two camps of he should have won for ordinary people at JFK and all these, and then
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
a more statistical podcast I listened to, which is really
yeah.
Oscar history, and they said they were talking about how he really had a chance if he went for it to try and get a best supporting actor win for this,
Yeah,
because it is the sort of elder statesman. Oh, he's never won before, he deserves one, whilst also being a good
yeah.
performance. It's the final thing that the audience sees. I think it's
Mm.
a really, really, really lovely turn, and I've always loved Mr. Sutherland. And me
Yeah.
and David, it's weird. Well, me and David recorded a JFK podcast last year, and so that will come out way after he's dead. And I haven't re-listened to it yet, but I'm going to be like, he's great. Put him in
He's
more
so good.
things. Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
nothing.
he is so great in Hunger Games. What were
Oh
you gonna
yes,
say?
yes. Snow lands on top.
He's so
Yes,
good.
yes. Snow
Yeah, but
does
like the
lovely.
actual good Hunger Games, not the.
Oh, did you not like the Ballad of Songs
No,
and
I
Snakes?
did. I didn't like it as much as the other Hunger Games. I enjoyed it. I just
I
thought the others
am
were bad.
so I have skin in the game now because I was never a Hunger
Oh,
Games person,
okay.
but I am a Stephen King person, as you know,
Yes.
and they're finally adapting The Long Walk, which is one of Stephen King's best books ever.
I bought my first Stephen King book the other day.
Okay, we'll talk
I
about
haven't
that
read
in
it yet.
one second. But Francis Lawrence is directing The Long
Okay.
Walk, and I wouldn't particularly say that the directing was the best parts of the Hunger Games movies. So I'm kind of trepidatious.
Okay, yeah. No, that's valid.
Mm.
I think
So I'm
I think the
slightly worried.
original source material is the best part of the Hunger Games.
True, true.
Like,
Tell me about the Stephen King book before we take our first break.
well, I hadn't read it. I bought Carrie because I saw someone
Oh,
else had read it.
it's just
And
great.
I know it's gonna be good, so I
It
was
is
like, yeah.
very good. And when you talk to Rian, and she tries to tell you that the Chloe Grace Moretz version is the good film, I want you to know that there is a 2 hour podcast waiting for you where
Oh,
I,
good.
I bully Rian into the truth,
I'm
which is that
sure.
Brian De Palma's 1970s film is one of not only the great films, but without a shadow of a doubt, the best Carrie. But Carrie or
Okay.
The Long Walk or The Hunger Games are not films we're talking about right now. We're talking about Pride and Prejudice, and we'll be
Pride
back
and Prejudice.
after our first break. And we're back. The wonderful Pride and Prejudice. Best single minutes. I had in the best single minutes, in the rain. I love you, Mr. Ardently. Um, and then poor Rosamund. London is so diverse. I'm really quite over here.
Yes. Oh,
And then Carrie storming in. Um, who did I give my best? Oh, I gave it to Natalie Portman for May December. Um, who actually won? Oh God, Emma Stone. Yeah. Um,
what was that face for?
because I was thinking how much Carey Mulligan was excellent in Maestro, and
Uh,
then I remembered both things. Um,
did you like Poor Things?
no,
No.
no, very.
Do you like Emma Stone?
I like La La Land.
I love Emma Stone.
I preferred Kinds of Kindness have you watched Kinds of Kindness yet?
Yeah.
I preferred it in some ways, but then also found it just incredibly um,
I thought it was a
infuriating.
bit like Black Mirror.
Yeah, but the Black Mirror stories have a point and have an ending and are satisfying in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Anyway, um, and then yes, the final scene with he's not a sir. I never said Sir Donald Sutherland. What are your nominations, Asa, for?
Best minute. Yeah, I think In the Rain. I it's great. I mean, it's so good.
You've
Um,
is Matthew McFadden? You know, are you attracted to Matthew McFadden? Because there was so much. I mean, obviously it's all subjective, but there was a lot to be done. Let me find this quote. There was a quote from a Pride and Prejudice fan site, and yes, they do exist. Um,
I don't doubt it.
about the casting of it. I'll you talk about Matthew McFadden being good, and then I'll.
I think he's good. I think he plays it really well. I don't think like I'm not attracted to him massively as an actor, but as Mr. Darcy, yes. But I think lots of people have that effect, don't they? You're attracted to someone as a character and not the actor. I mean, obviously, there's like actors you are just attracted to, like Rosamund Pike, um, in anything
In anything.
in life.
Is there anything more attractive as Amy Dunn shaking her hair after she slits Patrick Harris's throat?
Okay, well, that might just be a reflection on you.
I mean, if we go back to the greatest woman of all time being Janet Venable.
Well, you'll have to listen to the earlier podcast.
Oh no, they love it. They
Um,
listen to it all.
yeah. Uh, other, I'm trying to think of my other favorite minutes. I really like, and it's more of a moment actually than a minute when you see Mr. Darcy and Mr. Bingley rehearsing Bingley's proposal to Jane. I just think that's so funny.
I
Um,
so right. So I kind of want to break. No, we'll break this down momentarily. I want to find this quote. I don't know why I didn't save it before. Here it is. Fans of Pride and Prejudice '95 reacted negatively to the casting of Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden. They considered Knightley too beautiful and thin and too pinched and one-dimensional, and felt that Darcy should be played by someone dashingly handsome. Try Rupert Everett or Hugh Jackman.
can you imagine Hugh Jackman? He
All I'm
emerges from the lake like
all I'm going to say is,
Deadpool
and I know
style.
that there are a lot of rumors around Hugh Jackman and his private life, but this Joaquin Phoenix, Todd Haynes gay romance
Oh,
detective
yeah,
movie
yeah, yeah.
falling through. Why hasn't Hugh Jackman
Why
just
hasn't he picked up the
actually
phone?
gone down and done a real movie again?
What's the rumors about his private life? That he sleeps with men?
I think uh,
Something
they're,
awful.
they're not necessarily no, not necessarily rumors, but
Okay.
there seems to be some sort of opinion that he might be slightly fake. But anyway, he would
Would
have been a
anyone, yeah,
marvelous.
I mean, who'd be surprised? He's a
He'd be a
musical theatre
marvelous
boy at
Darcy.
heart.
Oh, it's the
I
thing
don't
that's
think he'd be a
haunted me.
marvelous Darcy. I don't think he'd be a good
Oh,
Mr. Darcy.
you don't at all.
No.
Trying to think of.
He's
Have
not
you?
like,
Oh, no, 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 no. We know he won't be. Have you seen Kate and Leopold?
no.
Terrible movie. Meg Ryan. And I can't even remember. He time travels. But anyway, he's a
Okay. He's in
dandy.
that, is he?
He's a 15th century dandy or something. And
Right.
yeah, or someone of the tall, arrogant but handsome caliber. McFadden doesn't have a masculine enough jaw. I suspect he'll need a seriously good wig to make up for his
So,
own rather
you
thin,
know when I told you
receding,
that
floppy
Pride and
hair.
Prejudice has a middle-aged women following? This is like they feel they've been let down by this casting, and that's
Let's
fine. I understand.
filter by rating. 1 star on IMDb. Jane Austen is spinning in her grave. This film is one of the worst adaptations of Pride and Prejudice ever
No.
filmed. And if Jane Austen were alive, she would demand that her name be removed from the film.
She would love this. She'd be like the most attractive character, Jane. Yeah, yeah, she is really attractive. You cast her really well. That's all she'd have to say.
Disgrace to the novel and Jane. I went to see suspecting I would hate it. I did.
I
Where
think that's so
everyone
funny. People know they're gonna hate something, and they're like, "Well, I did. Yeah, I didn't like it." You're like, "Well, where'd you watch it?"
where everyone else sees Darcy as a sex god, the writer of this saw him as sexually frustrated and inadequate.
Why would he
Bingley
be? He's not a sex god. He's so awkward. Like,
Bingley was stupid and dippy. And
yeah, which he is.
Mr. Collins was not repulsive and greasy, merely stupid and obnoxious.
I mean, Mr. Collins in the BBC one. Do you know what he looks like in it? He is
No, go on.
especially repulsive and greasy. Like, you should look it up. Like, he's dripping with like grease.
Wretched. No one go see this. Keira
Okay.
Knightley does not look or act the part. Note how she chooses to act with her chin every time she gets empathetic. And I've sold Lumber more charismatic and interesting than the man who plays Mr. Darcy.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
hey. Can I borrow the lumber out of your yard? We'll get there.
Okay.
Um, best best line.
That's oh,
He owns half of Derbyshire, the miserable half.
miserable. That is good.
Now, if Jane does die, at least it was in pursuit of
In
Mr.
pursuit of Mr.
Bingley.
Darcy, Mr. Bingley. Yeah, that is an excellent line.
Donald's wonderful. I had no idea that young Kelly
That might be
Riley
my
was in this.
favorite.
And I love
Who?
Kelly Riley. Kelly Riley, Mr. Bingley's sister.
Oh yeah, she's good in this.
She is good at this. Or Penelope Wilton showing up. Love Penelope Wilton. Should have been Celia Imrie. Should have been everybody from Bridget. Only the deepest love will persuade me into matrimony, which is why I will end up an old maid. And then Judy, you cannot sit next to your wife. Move.
Yes, very good line. I feel like Mr. Collins has some really good. I mean, like
These are
excellent
exemplary
boiled
vegetables.
potato. Yeah. I like when he's like, "Which of my cousins do I
Yes.
own the thanks for the cookie." No, I think the best is if Jane does die, it will be a comfort to know it was in pursuit of Mr. Bingley. I mean, it's very good. It's well delivered. It's well written.
I have a
Credits to all
few
involved.
credits to Deborah McGough and Miss Jane Austen.
Okay,
A few fun facts.
go on.
Director, yeah, here we are. True. He petitioned Donald Sutherland to take the part. As Wright said in an interview in 2005, we ended up having a long email correspondence about everything from 18th century agriculture to my relationship with my father.
I think I've read this quote.
Yeah. And then, more importantly, did you know about this? He was reluctant to cast Simon Woods as Mr. Bingley. Do you know why?
Why?
Because him and Rosamond had been in a relationship for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, while at
Know that.
Oxford. While at Oxford, don't you
Hey,
know?
of course it's Mount Oxford.
I tried very hard not to cast Simon, but I knew he was perfect. Finally, I
He
rang.
is very
He
good.
is perfect. And then you can tell how close Joe is. Finally, I rang Roz and asked if she'd mind. And she said, absolutely not. They hadn't seen each other for 2 years, but the next day they were dancing together. It was lovely.
Sorry, one moment. When he touches her dress, he like
yes.
just great, or like her ribbon. Yeah, that would be you. But like,
That would be me.
touching Rosamund's ribbon.
Oh, touching Rosamund's ribbon. Maybe that's a fringe play I write. This is how I meet my idols. I write a fringe play called like I Love
Something
You, Rosamund
Rosamund's
Pike,
Pike.
or something like that. And then
She'd come
publicity,
and see it, I think.
she would, she's cool.
She's the sort of person that would be like, I want to see that. And after she'd be like, what an odd little play.
What an odd little boy you are.
What an
So,
odd little boy you are. Splendid.
oh, Rosamund. Uh, you know where my good friend Will shares in this crush, and do you know where he gets it from?
No. Where?
Johnny English Reborn.
Hmm. Can't see I've seen that in like, maybe 20 years, but like,
You're not missing out on anything. It gets better. Rosamund then became engaged to Joe Wright,
yes, I did know that.
and their engagement ended in 2008.
Wow. Happy news for you.
Don't you know? Yes. No, she's married with children.
Oh, I got, it just won't work.
All of this I've done for all of my fringe plays. Um, tagline rundown. Here are a few of these. Um, I had them. There they are. This holiday season, experience the greatest love story of all time.
You know what though? When you think about what people would call the greatest love story of all time, like the contenders, it's better than Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, it's actually romantic.
These two get to know each other and they're both of age and no one dies at the end.
Yes, but does anybody wear a hoodie?
You
I
gone
thought that was
silent? Oh
no.
no, you haven't.
I was waiting. I was waiting for you to
Does
laugh at my
anybody
great
wear a hoodie? I don't get it.
Romeo and Juliet, Tom Holland,
Oh, well,
Jamie
yeah, I thought that
Lloyd.
might be it, but that was dreadful. Did
It
you
was
see it?
dreadful. No,
It
no,
was
no, no.
awful. It was really, you
Um,
would have hated it.
I would have hated it. I'm not a big fan
I
of
like
Jamie Lloyd.
Romeo and Juliet.
Mm. Saturday, Saturday, Saturday.
It's funny.
Um, a romance ahead of its time.
Well, that's an interesting one. Like, what time?
Exactly. And also, yeah, and as
When
much as
written, a romance ahead of its time.
like it because it is still kind of old fashioned. Like there is,
Hmm.
I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
very progressive. Um,
No, yeah. I mean, it's not like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not modern, is it?
sometimes the last person on earth you want to be with is the one person you can't be without.
It sounds like a Wattpad.
Yeah.
Harry Styles, villain, mob boss
Sometimes,
tagline.
sometimes
Sometimes the last person you want to be
want to
with.
be with.
That's what
Yeah,
you can't live without. Yeah, I think like whoever wrote these should have just taken quotes from the book.
definitely. Um, right. I have a question here. Tom's big
Right.
question.
Someone's big question. It's about the ending.
We can do the ending now. Do you want to talk about the ending?
Oh,
Tell the
no, I
audience.
thought that was going to be your big question.
No, we can
Go for
talk
your
about
big
the ending
question.
now. The ending is just one very nice little. I enjoyed it, to be honest with you. I guess I put it back in.
Yeah, but don't you like how it ends on Donald Sutherland?
Sunderburn. Yeah, that would be good.
Wonder-
Yeah, I also enjoyed Mr. Darcy. Mrs. Darcy. Mrs. Darcy.
That what is it? What's the quote? It's like
She's like
and how are you tonight, Mrs. Darcy? Yeah.
yeah, Mrs. Darcy. Mrs. Darcy. He
It's
says it like
fine. I think it's a
10
bit
times.
American.
It is a bit American. I couldn't find any information on why it was shot, why it was taken out, why it was put back in for the American.
I think because it was quite American. So they were just like, well, this will work for them and not for us.
Is it also a thing of most British people have seen some version of Pride and Prejudice and so know that they get married and that sort of thing, instead of leaving
Yeah.
it to
Yeah,
instead
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
leaving it
yeah.
to leaving
Maybe.
it to presume.
Hmm. Yeah,
I have
possibly.
here which version will last longer in the cultural memory because I mean
Mm.
it was only last year, Asa, That's
Go
in the
on.
middle of one of the biggest movies of all time, Barbie.
Oh
Greta
yes,
Gerwig
Colin Firth.
references
Yeah.
specifically the 1995 BBC Pride and Prejudice.
Mm.
So,
I mean, that is iconic when he comes out the water in that version. But
mhm,
I don't think people are going to sit and watch that version. Like,
yeah.
I think it relies on a generation of like introducing it to people,
Oh,
introducing it to their
I,
children, or
oh, yeah, I think that's what Greta's trying to do, isn't she? Her children being the
Greta's in
millions.
the millions of fans.
Um, who announced the offer of marriage to Darcy? How did this come to Judi Dench, or is this just how things used to be in that time? Like somebody would say one thing to another and that sort of thing. When she storms in the middle of the
Oh,
night.
well, I assume that he tells her, or is it Fitzwilliam, his friend,
Hmm.
tells her? I mean, she's like his closest relative, so he probably would tell her that I'm going to do this.
Mm. And then, but it's like Romeo and Juliet. He's just 2 days behind on the train or whatever,
He's
and she
just,
gets there
well, he's
first.
just sorted out her sister in London, so
Yeah. Go to my sister in London. And she plays the piano wonderfully. Did you get a slightly too close vibe?
what do you mean?
Him and his sister.
Oh, you mean like the camera? I was like,
No, no.
no. Um, oh no, like he is all she has. She sits in that house all day by herself.
I love playing piano. Oh, oh, Mrs. Bennett, it feels like I know you already.
It's like, I know you're ready because all that's happened is my brother was.
Um,
I said, she played quiet.
I think I understand this, but check me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong. So why does Darcy pay for Lydia's sham marriage if she hates Wickham? Sorry, if we know that Wickham is an awful person, is it just because it's
Mm.
less scandal for the family to have a marriage?
Yeah. Like
But
Lizzie wouldn't be marriable
yeah,
if that massive scandal came, and then he couldn't marry her.
right. But surely, I know times are different and all that sort of thing, but surely
This is ahead of its time, Tom.
I, I have to force one daughter into a marriage with an awful man so that I can marry you. Don't you understand? All of this, what I've done
But
for you.
also, like, Lydia would have been disgraced. She'd never have married anyone else. So is
Yeah.
it better that she just marries him?
I don't know. Maybe I'm a foolish romantic or two, but like surely the more romantic gesture and the better gesture is Darcy going and finding Lydia and bringing her home.
Yeah, but like, they were still living together in sin
Yeah. In Brighton.
in Brighton, sexual, capital of the world.
I was selling dog food in Whitby and somebody came up to me and said, "There's lots of gays in Whitby, isn't there?" said, said I didn't know.
Good to know.
But then I actually said, "Well, they say that about Brighton as well. It must be seaside towns." I don't know, and I don't know whether he thought I was agreeing with him in his mild homophobia or not. I was just saying it as a curiosity point. Of
Mm.
it must be seaside town. Um, what else do I have here? I don't have any other notes.
No, I just think it's a nice film.
It is.
Like,
It's lovely.
I think it is romantic. It's a pleasant
Our
watch.
We've inadvertently done three literary adaptations.
We have, yeah.
Are you a
And you've
huge?
only read one.
That is true. Well, have you read
Bridge to Terabithia.
British Terabithia?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, sorry, of
Not
course.
recently. Like I wouldn't be able to, but I read it when I was a child.
No. What? So, in regard of the three,
Mm.
which would you say is the best adaptation?
I mean, like I said, I don't remember Bridge to Terabithia, the book.
Mm.
I think it probably from my memory, captures most of the magic of it. We'll talk about it more later.
Mhm.
I think this is a very book to screen accurate adaptation.
It's a nice modernize modern. I don't want to say modernization because it's
No,
not
I
been
know what you mean.
modernized. Like a
I
modern
think it like appeals to a modern audience,
very much like
like,
Little
and
Women.
introduces them to Jane Austen as, yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, I thought Primal Fear is a good adaptation, but the book is just too long.
Yeah.
Like, a book that long, and also bits needed to be cut out. So in that respect, I do think it's a good adaptation. I think the film's
Yeah,
a lot better than the book. It's a fantastic adaptation.
it's like when people talk about OJ being a terrible killer, and I think it's Norm Macdonald when he says he's the best killer. He got away with it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
the best adaptation should technically be yeah.
The most accurate.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed
Pride to Terabithia.
Pride to
Pride.
Prejudice. Um, yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed. Hmm, I'm trying to think what in my life what will be the next thing I do, whether it will be.
Change of topic.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do it.
No, but in the sense of, am I sooner to watch like because obviously because I do love the films of Ang Lee. Like I love
Mm,
Brokeback, I love The Ice Storm.
mhm.
Um, am I close? Am I more likely to watch Sense and Sensibility than I am?
You should watch it.
Mm.
I think if I watched it now, I'd probably prefer it. I preferred the film to the book.
I love the Merchant Ivory movies. Like I love Remains of the Day. Me and Jazz did a wonderful Remains of the Day a wonderful podcast.
A
But
wonderful podcast. You should
uh,
all listen to.
have you ever got into the Merchant Ivory side of things, like Remains of
Um,
the Day, Howard's End, that sort of thing?
no,
No, they're good. Room with a View,
no. I've heard of
Marie,
it.
Maurice.
No.
That's gay Hugh Grant.
I think I'd like them. Just
Yeah,
haven't seen them. Doesn't take much.
no.
Like,
Oh well,
I have my
no. This
sophisticated taste and my bad film. I like this film taste.
I don't know. I think you've picked three good choices.
No, these are all good films. Yeah,
Well,
I haven't
yeah.
subjected you to. What do you mean? Well, yeah, you've enjoyed the last two. We better not get on the next one, and you're like, this is a terrible film.
I don't think it's terrible. No.
Well, okay, we get onto it.
Well, we will
Just
quite
start now.
literally. um,
In 2 minutes.
in 2 minutes time. Anything left to say, Asa, on the world of Pride and Prejudice?
I don't think so. I think we've covered it
You
pretty
did
well.
indeed. You did indeed.
It's just
Well,
told
thank.
everyone should go watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yes. Well, maybe
You're
that's.
probably not listening to this if you haven't seen.
Well, I consider. I pitched this to Rian when she did her last three picks. I said, "Why don't we do a double feature three picks?" Because she picked the Aaron Sorkin Trial of the Chicago Seven, which is an actively terrible movie, which I
I
presume
like
you
that
love. Yeah, of
film.
course. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, no, yeah, yeah. It's got three
And
different
I've
spindly
already
white men.
heard what
So,
you're like. All right. No, I what?
um, but and I said, oh, why don't we do that and then do A Few Good Men, which is Aaron Sorkin's really great crime movie. And
Okay,
then
yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
she said, and the other one was Juno, and I said, oh, and we'll do Young Adult, the other Jason Reitman Diablo Cody script. I love. And she said, I'm not going to do my three picks and then have do another three movies where you say my three picks sucked. These are better movies, which is
Yeah, that's
fair.
understandable.
Which is fair, yes. Which is fair. Well, very, very good. That was Pride and Prejudice. And we will be back, as alluded to, with a third and final pick from Asa, which is unfortunately not no, it's not a scandal. And I realized Jazz has seen May December because rather rudely I'd forgotten me and Jazz did a full 2 hours May December
Oh,
podcast.
well, that's really nice.
Can't believe I forgot about that.
Yeah, as one of the 5 listeners of this podcast, I'm sure she'll really appreciate it.
I don't think she does listen to it. I don't think she does.
No.
Anyway, that was
Per episode.
well, everybody does. Reed admits
I
it.
haven't listened to ours.
Well, they're not out yet. Oh no, the Primal Fear.
Yeah, Prime Fears. Yeah, I know this one's not out. I've just done it.
Uh,
Mm.
uh.
Anyway,
We'll be back to
yeah,
travel across the bridge to Terabithia. Oh.
right. You get more serious. Doing
Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba